Hi, this is Sue and Yvonne from Mind Strong Global, and this is video number 3 in our series of 3 videos where we're talking about how unresolved issues from the past may sabotage your business and relationships. And in this video, Yvonne's going to give a great example of how for these business owners, life is very serious.
Yeah. So serious business. It doesn't mean they don't ever have fun or joke around. It just means that there's a big component of their life that is about planning and scheduling. It's very important. Now, in today's world, this is sort of fed by apps and lots of talk in the business sort of entrepreneurial world around planning and scheduling. And so what happens in the examples I've experienced with people is that they will have everything scheduled. There's a very big difficulty in spontaneity or the ability to allow space for conversations in relationships that aren't planned and scheduled. Everything needs to go in the calendar. And if it's not in the calendar, then there's a frustration. And that can be even with personal relationships where it feels like I've got to schedule a family conversation. We need to really plan this time versus we can bring things up as we go, right? So what happens is everything feels like it's got to be planned, scheduled, exercise, everything's in there. And that's not to say it's all bad. It's about what might it be masking, right? And that there's a real difficulty in setting some boundaries around personal time, difficulties in actually allowing themselves time to rest. And this can feel like fatigue, frustration, not getting enough time with family, but then the other side of them has to plan all this stuff. So I give the examples and Sue's going to explain why might that be the case, that they don't deviate from or can't do spontaneity.
So this might be difficult for you to hear if you're one of these people, because it's quite obsessive compulsive behaviour. And one of the things that we know is that these sorts of people, not just business owners, but these sorts of people don't like anybody pointing out their behaviour. Okay, because then they feel like they're not doing things perfectly. It's a real trap for them where they go into feeling like they're not good enough. They might go into a lot of shame around someone actually seeing them. Because one of the things that keeping busy does is it stops you from feeling anything. And when you're not feeling anything, it also stops you from being close to people. Okay, and it's a really good defense mechanism that you would have learnt when you were younger. And that is I'm not going to be close to anybody, because if I let anybody get too close, they're going to really see my imperfections. So if I stay busy all the time and I'm in control of what I'm doing and what others are doing, then I never ever have to stop and think about what I'm feeling. And that is actually one of the most important things that you need to do. And it's very, very difficult.
Yeah. So if it's been one of your coping mechanisms, and it's difficult because we can really get a lot of validation from the business world and the personal development world. I watch this as I work with, sometimes I work with duos, couples who are in business, or one person's in business. And what happens is this striving feels like the only way to exist. Or, so if we're asking you to slow down, that it feels threatening and that feels too scary. It's got to be scheduled, it's got to be planned. And if we're talking about feelings or intimacy or vulnerability, that can feel really, really threatening. So we want to acknowledge that there's a part of the business world, like business accelerators and personal development world, that can really give you a high five, chest pump that you're doing really well and everything's scheduled and planned and all of that. But also know that it is a defense mechanism sometimes, and it can very much keep you from the very thing you want, but are also fearful of experiencing. And so we're often working with business professionals who want more fulfillment and intimacy. And by intimacy, we mean connection in relationship, and not just to be driven and pushing forward all the time. So it's like reframing what actual progression is and what success is, to not always be forward striving momentum, but an actual connection as well. So
and I think one of the important things that we want to share with you is that, you know, we believe in personal development. We've been in the personal development space for a long time, but at Mindstrong Global, we really believe in relationship development. That's our thing.